guys, it's Shadow the Rat, and for today's video, I will be doing a training session with little Olive. So Olive is now about 11 weeks old. Actually, she just turned 11 weeks today, and we are going to be working on two tricks today. So first of all, I will be having her learn to fetch an item from this fridge, this miniature fridge, which is a very professional looking, thank you. I made this myself, and I'm fully aware that it is in need of a few repairs. Anyways, I will also be working on some basketball with her, which we started last time. So if you want to see how that's been progressing, you might want to check out the last few videos with Olive first, simply because those will give you a little bit more information on how she is being trained to, well, put a ball in a basketball hoop, because I have shown the entire process so far on video. So first of all, we are going to be working with basketball simply because she is not a huge fan of putting an item into something else right now. She would prefer to fetch it to me because she learned fetch first. So I want to work on basketball while she's still very excited and she's really eager to learn, because that way we will start to give her a better association with putting an item into, well, another item instead of bringing it to me. So I'm going to start by priming her behavior of targeting the hoop, which is simply when I reward her in place at the hoop, just to kind of reinforce coming back to the hoop, and that way that will encourage her to come back to the hoop with the ball. And then I'm going to give her the ball, and I'm going to kind of help guide her over there since she is targeting my hand. And I want to fade out my hand since I do eventually want her to just be bringing the ball to the hoop without any help. So you can see that she's already doing a lot better than she was last time. Last time she was definitely very distracted when it came to bringing the ball over here. She didn't want to do it and she was kind of struggling with the concept. We haven't worked on it at all since then, but since she ended on a good note and we gave it a day, or actually a few days, she is now ready to work on basketball again. So, ready? So you can see it really helps sometimes to take a little break, end on a good note, and then oftentimes they will have internalized the trick better. So, I'm going to just work on this a few more times. Over here. Good job. Okay, so I'm going to have her do one more repetition, and that will be it because I don't want to focus too much on basketball, especially right now when she's a little bit wary of it. Actually, she missed right there, so I'm going to have her do it from closer up. Whoops. You can see she's not a huge fan of it. Come here, baby. Ready? Okay, there we go. So now I'm done. I don't want to push it. I know that it's very easy to push something like this and ask for more, but that's just going to make her not really like basketball much, which is not my goal. So now that we've practiced basketball a little bit, we're going to be moving on to working with the fridge, which she's going to like a lot more, I think, simply because it involves fetching something to me instead of playing basketball. I know that might seem kind of confusing, like, are you confusing her because she is going to be fetching to you instead? And no, since we're using a different prop here and a different item, it's not going to be too confusing, especially because she's already doing really well with basketball. She does understand where to target. She's just not really a fan of working with the wiffle ball, which is something that working on it slowly will help to change. Okay, so right now, the thing we're going to do is we're going to start by having her fetch this little cap from right there, and I'm going to have her bring it over to me. I'm actually going to have her target it to my hand, simply because that helps to encourage them to bring it a little bit further. I'm actually going to push this a little more. And to start, I'm just putting the item right next to the fridge, and the fridge is open, and this is because I want to get her used to going near the fridge, getting an item from near the fridge. So now I'm going to start placing it closer and closer to inside the fridge, and this is just going to help teach her that she needs to look inside the fridge to get the item. So, good job. And you can see she definitely likes this a lot more than basketball. Okay, good job. So now I'm going to put the item on the first shelf, which is where I'm going to have her fetch it from. Oh, and she figured it out right away. If she didn't, I would have put some food up there to encourage her to look up there, because that really helps. And you can also just point at it like I will show you in a second. What are you doing? What are you doing? Nope, right there. Good job. Okay, so the next step, of course, is to start closing it some. And for that step, I will just gradually start to close the fridge. So I'm closing it about halfway right now. I don't think she'll have an issue going in there when it's halfway closed, but, well, she could have. If she did, I would have put some treats in there and stopped putting the item in there, because if you put some treats in there, that encourages them to open it just because they want to get the treats out. So right now for this step, I'm actually going to switch gears for a second, because I know rats can get kind of confused when you close it fully, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So instead, I'm going to prime her for opening it by simply putting some yogurt in there. And I'm going to direct her inside so that she knows that there's some yogurt inside. Okay, so you can see she's going to the yogurt. She's licking it off. I'm going to remove her for a second, and I'm going to put a little bit more yogurt on there, and I'm actually going to close. So, as you can see, this is really encouraging her to be more enthusiastic about opening the door. Sometimes if you don't do this, they will have trouble learning to push the door hard enough because they don't have a real incentive to do so. So this is just a really natural way to get them to open the door. As you might notice, I do have a little handle outside. I used to teach rats to pull the handle, but I found that this is just easier and faster. And since I like to teach this as one of my first fetch chain tricks, it's just really nice to make it so easy for them to transition from just fetching the item to fetching it from something inside where they have to open the door. Okay, so clearly she is doing really well with opening the door. I'm going to do it one more time, and then after that I will end up putting the little bottle cap back inside, and I'll just have her fetch me the bottle cap. So the next step after that is I'm going to move her aside, put the bottle cap in there, close it. And she's a little bit confused because she's like, where's the food? But she still brought it to me. If she didn't, I would have pointed to it, and then when she got it, I would have rewarded her. So she already has the idea really well, which is great. So I'm just going to close it and repeat this a few more times, and we'll be done. So yeah, this is a pretty easy trick for them to learn once they've learned fetch. It doesn't really require too much extra work on their part, and it has a really easy sort of hack to teach them the second part, which is just putting some food inside the door to encourage them to open it. Okay, so she has this down really well. I'm just going to let her fetch from the fridge a few more times, and then we should be good. Good job. There we go. Good job. Okay, so this should be one of her last times. I'll have her do it one more time, and we will be good. No other ratto. Donut got a little Cheerio. Yes, she did. I didn't actually have Donut out, but she opened the cage door. Okay, so she kind of accidentally didn't do so well on that one, and I want to end on a good note, and she's really enjoying herself, so I'm going to have her do it one more time. There you go. And I do want to make a quick note here that if your rat is starting to show a lot of confusion, you don't want to have them do it one more time. You want to go back a step, because you don't want them to start associating the trick with, feeling confused and frustrated. The only reason I had Olive redo that is because I was pretty sure she was going to do it right. Clearly she was kind of just a little bit confused by the yogurt scent that is still lingering in there, but she was still very enthusiastic, so I wasn't worried about her getting discouraged, as you can see here. Good job, guys. Okay, so I am going to wrap this up. I feel like that was a great training session. And why don't we have Donut wrap this up for us? Donnie! What, can you spin? Good girl. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye!